So my focus is on season 2, episode 2. Now, as we all know, in season 2, episode 2, Hailey and Mercedes had a fallout. I'm not going to say with good reason because they both are a little bit rough around the edges, and I think that they take jabs at each other. They have a love-hate relationship. They try each other. Mercedes, on the other hand, she's an OG. She's been in the game longer than Hailey. She knows the game better than Hailey. Hailey got her game with her, and that's the game, and she plays her position. But they're still opposite attracting, and they bump heads, as we've seen in season 1 and season 2. But I'm wondering, what is the fate for both of these women? Because at this point, we know that they're in a fallout. Mercedes had asked for Hailey to leave, and I think it was the pressure that was applied when Diamond had removed that weight off her shoulders, because we found out towards the end of that episode that she was, in fact, Mercedes was, in fact, the one that pulled the trigger and took um, Hailey's ex out of this world. Hailey, as we all know, just recapping it, she thought prior to him coming to the club, that this dude that Mercedes ended up ending his life. She thought that when she shot him, that she ended his life, but that was further from the truth. Now, I want to know what you guys, do you think that Mercedes made the proper move? Was she right about putting Hailey out? There's not a right or wrong answer. It's just, a matter of people's opinions, and everyone has opinions. I think that they both was a asset to each other. I think that they both helped each other out in times of need. And sometimes things just don't work out. People are in your life for a reason or a season. And maybe it was just a season. And they had a fallout, they're not gonna make it, and they gotta go their separate ways. Now I'm looking at Hailey because I'm getting this feeling that Hailey's gonna pick back up those stilettos and get back up on that pole. She started drinking, as we see at the end of the episode. She started drinking, signs obviously of stress going on because Mercedes put her out. Her money's short. Quite sure she may have a little bit of money stacked up from stripping, but the money that she stole when she ran off, she no longer has that money because it's been invested, and 50% of it goes to Uncle Cliff. So she's got a lot of stresses, Hailey does, on her shoulders for making that decision to put in all that money to save the club. I wouldn't be disappointed or surprised if she did have to get back on the pole, because if you're gonna give $250,000 to a rundown strip club, and yeah, you are 50% ownership of it, sometimes we have to do what we have to do to survive, because if not, if you walk away from it, then you just gave away, in my mind, over $250,000 of your money that you could have invested elsewhere. So they both have had a lot to lose. We know that Mercedes' mother, she's a piece of ish. Um, she took that 20,000 Mercedes had and put it into a church. And then she just gave her aid to Kiss to Mercedes. Mercedes is now struggling for being kind, even though she has that tough act about herself. She took hard earned, the faster you get it, the faster it can go type of money, and gave it to her mother to help her mother out, with the word that her mother would give her back the money, and she ended up putting it on a church in the same location as where, if I'm not mistaken, Mercedes was going to put her gym. And that's a really messed up thing to do to anyone that's giving you that amount of money, and you just decide to put it into your own business opportunity. And now this person's $20,000 is just conveniently gone when she's been saving up for years from stripping, and body all aching and all kind of stuff going on with that money. So I think that like going back to Hailey being put out of Mercedes' house, she has a lot that's like on her head that I could honestly say is probably stressing her out and will probably stress her out until she gets to where she needs to get to. And we all know when we get rock bottom in life, it takes us a while to get back on our feet. It just doesn't happen like the movies overnight. And I think that Hailey has had her part in, Mercedes putting her out some of her ways. And I think that Mercedes has played her part with Hailey feeling the way she feels about her. But all in all, I will say that they have a love-hate relationship, but they are truly, if they needed one another, would still be there for each other. But right now they're having turmoil because it's hitting Mercedes that taking these hits. I'm taking these L's. If it's not from my mother, it's people who I'm trying to love and respect and help, and they keep, disrespecting me. And I've been in this game and I'm not being acknowledged for my work. And I get it. It can be frustrating sometimes. But at the same time, we have to understand that Hailey didn't work for that money that she came there with to put on that club. It was stolen money. Regardless of how whoever she got it from got it, it wasn't her money. So, I'm just wondering, is Hailey going to get back on that stripper pole and do what she needs to do to survive? Because she's not that girl with the $250,000 anymore. She's not that girl that's financially set that could have stopped stripping when she got that lump sum of money, and she could have went anywhere in the world and started her life all over again. But she didn't. She put it into Uncle Cliff's club, and now she's an investor. She's actually the owner, and Uncle Cliff is the manager. He's running the joint, and he owns 50% of it. There's a lot of things that are gonna pop off in this season, and I'm really excited to bring these reviews to you. But I honestly think that Hailey is going to go back to stripping, and things are going to get worse before they get better because Hailey's back drinking. We know how our behaviors are as people. When we get the drinking in us, it brings out the demon in us. We know that obviously Hailey's picked up the drinking because she's trying to mash her emotions with the things that she's currently going through. Being homeless now, being out of $250,000, having to fall out with someone that she considered her friend, which is Mercedes. They've been through a lot. They've seen a lot. Again, Mercedes went all in and took a life for Hailey. And sometimes people don't do stuff like that for you unless you knew them all your life. And they haven't known each other all their life. And they have been through some stuff in a short period of time that I think that maybe the friendship will heal later on in the season. But right now, because that's what people like to see. You're gonna see probably in the next episode, probably some more smoke between Hailey and Mercedes. I hope gradually as the season goes on, we start to more and more get a feel of how the end of the season's gonna go, and I hope that is looking up for both of them because they both have, in their own sort of way, helped each other out, and they really don't need to be in this space. I believe that Hailey is also going to break up a marriage with Andre because Andre's not on focus, and I believe that Andre, this is what I'm predicting, is going to probably get a divorce from his wife, and I believe that Hailey's going to latch on to him for security. Not only because she's attracted to him. I don't really know how to even explain that. It seems to be that Hailey's attracted to those sort of kind of men. But only time will tell that situation. Only time will tell between Andre and Hailey what's going to become of that relationship. But I hope she doesn't become Hailey a home wrecker